6:36, we check back in now with Mike Eppel over at 680 News with the latest in business news. And of course, there is some anxiety when it comes to watching Wall Street this morning. Mike.
Yeah, good morning, Tammy. The only thing certain about today's trade is the uncertainty and the fact that we are coming off the biggest ever points decline in history for the Dow Jones Industrials average, following basically an 8-year rally where we haven't seen anything of this magnitude to speak of. And that had a lot of the players on Wall Street specifically, people who have been in this market many years, going, when are we actually going to see a correction? Well, we might see one effective today, because the Dow Jones, after yesterday's drop of 4.6%, is now down 8.5% from its peak north of 26,000 just over a week ago. If it drops to a 10% decline from its record, that would be an official correction, and that is, as again, the veterans of the market would tell you, absolutely normal. Markets do not go up in a straight line, and they had been, keep in mind, for 2017, the Dow and the S&P, Wall Street in general, had been up 30% over 1 year's time and hit more records in January. Now we're seeing a pullback. Today we are expecting more selling pressure. At least that's what the stock indicators are telling us, that these things just do not all of a sudden magically settle down. And yesterday the big question is, who was doing the selling? Wall Street Journal calls it a panic sell-off, and indeed it was. But it looks like it was a lot of computer-activated sell programs, algorithms taking into effect and into account the fear of rising interest rates. And at the same time, the global economy is growing. The theory is that this market had just gotten too far ahead of itself and is now pulling back. The TSX comes in on a 6-day losing streak. Cryptocurrencies are collapsing as well this morning. Bitcoin is now down to $6,200 US. It's down 12% today. It is $13,000 below its peak that was reached mid-December. And people who watch this specific new sector or segment of the global currency market says at around $6,000, some of the new players who are sort of mining for cryptocurrencies, they're not making any money on this. So again, this is another shakeout in what has been, what some speculate to be, a bubble. Management change at Lululemon Athletica. Laurent Pontevin, who is the CEO, has resigned, saying there were breaches to the corporate code of conduct. They're being fairly vague about this, but Pontevin has led Lululemon to a rebound recently, refocusing of the business, specifically with online sales, and this could mean a hit to the company's stock price today. We also got earnings today from General Motors and Disney and WestJet, so we could have a refocusing on corporate and earnings fundamentals that might help settle things down just a little bit on the markets. We'll send it back to the studio.
Of course, Mike, the big story this morning is 9:30 when the market's open right now. Looks like things are going to bounce back up. And what people need to know, too, is this isn't the correction that people have been worried about. Not yet.
Not yet. Another 1.5% to the downside would be an official correction, Kevin, but you're right. And what we've seen since just overnight, the Dow futures at one point was down 800 points, then it was back up 200, and now it's down 100. Jeez. So we'll get a clearer direction before the 9:30 start, certainly. But again, after an 1,100 point drop, some people say it's a buying opportunity. Others say, yeah, not yet. We'll wait for some more bargains, potentially.
All right. I got all my stocks in lottery, so that's all right. All right. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.